The rain attacked the parking lot like violence, and Monica stood trembling, staring at a leather suitcase bearing her name in brass letters she didn't recognize. Monica Evangeline Harrington. The motel manager had knocked an hour ago, tired eyes and cigarette breath. "This came for you. Been in storage weeks. When I saw the name, figured it was yours." Inside, wrapped in cream silk smelling of jasmine and money, was $10,000 in $100 bills. Beside the money lay a first-class plane ticket to San Francisco and a card with elegant script. "This is just travel money. The real fortune is waiting at this address. Come home, Monica. Come claim what was always meant to be yours." Monica's legs gave out. She sat hard on the curb, suitcase clutched to her chest, rain mixing with tears. 3 months ago, she'd had everything. Then came the night she found them together. Her husband and Simone, her best friend, tangled in sheets Monica had chosen herself. The betrayal wasn't just bodies. It was the way they'd looked at her. Not guilty, annoyed. "We didn't want you to find out like this," her husband had said, pulling on pants with casual indifference. "But honestly, Monica, you've become so needy, so exhausting. Simone understands me in ways you never could." Simone had smiled. "Don't be dramatic. We're all adults here." But Monica wasn't fine. The divorce came fast and brutal. Papers she'd signed years ago left her with nothing. The house was in a trust she'd unknowingly waived rights to. Joint accounts had been emptied months before she discovered the affair. Then Simone went to Monica's employer, spreading lies, unstable, erratic, stealing company resources, making threats. Within 2 weeks, Monica was fired, escorted out by security. Her own family believed the lies. Her mother said she must have driven her husband away. Her sister stopped calling. Friends evaporated. She'd moved into this motel because it was all she could afford. Days applying for jobs that never responded. Nights crying into pillows that smelled like industrial cleaner and defeat. Until this suitcase. Monica studied the address, Harrington Estate in Napa Valley. The website showed sprawling grounds, elegant architecture, history, built by business magnate Evangeline Harrington. Evangeline, her grandmother's name, her middle name. But her grandmother had died when Monica was a baby. There'd never been money in her mother's family. The rain slowed. Monica stood, water dripping from her hair. A man walking to his car looked at her with concern. "You okay, miss?" "I don't know yet," she said. "But I'm going to find out." In her room, Monica laid the money on the bed. $10,000, more than she'd seen in months. She could take this, forget the ticket, start over somewhere new. But the note said this was just travel money. The real fortune was waiting. She thought about her ex-husband living in their house with Simone, laughing about destroying her. She thought about everyone who'd treated her like she was disposable. Rage flooded through her, hot and clarifying. She'd been meek her whole life, made herself small to make others comfortable. What if she stopped? Monica booked a taxi to the airport. Then she counted out $500 and walked to the boutique she'd passed every day but never entered. An hour later, she emerged with a black dress and real leather shoes that made her feel like someone who mattered. That night, she didn't cry. She lay in bed thinking about Evangeline Harrington, a name she'd heard maybe twice. Her mother had spoken it once with venom. Your grandmother thought she was better than everyone, thought money made her special. She abandoned her own daughter. She doesn't deserve to be remembered. But if Evangeline had abandoned her daughter, why leave anything to her granddaughter? Unless everything Monica had been told was as much a lie as everything else in her life. The plane ticket sat on the nightstand, catching parking lot light. First class, to a place called home, to an address promising fortune, to a grandmother's name matching her own. Monica closed her eyes and decided. She would get on that plane. She would go to that address. She would find out what this meant. And if there was truly something waiting for her, she would take it with both hands and never apologize again. Somewhere across town, her ex-husband slept peacefully. Simone planned their future with stolen security. Her mother watched television without thinking about her daughter. None of them knew Monica was about to disappear. None knew about the suitcase, the money, the ticket, the promise. And when she rose again, if she rose again, none would recognize what she'd become. Chapter 2. The Hidden Empire. The flight attendant called her Ms. Harrington 3 times before Monica realized the name was hers. First class made pretending easier. Champagne appeared without asking. The seat transformed into a bed. When the plane landed, a driver waited holding a sign with her name, not her married name, but Harrington. Miss Harrington, welcome. I'm Wallace. I'll be taking you to the estate. He was older, kind eyes, the posture of someone who'd spent a lifetime in service, but never servitude. The drive took over an hour through increasingly beautiful countryside, until they turned onto a private road lined with ancient oak trees. Then the gates appeared, wrought iron and elegant, opening silently. Monica's breath stopped. The estate stretched before her like a dream. Sprawling stone buildings with ivy-covered walls, manicured gardens exploding with roses, a fountain where water danced in afternoon light. This wasn't just wealth. This was legacy, history, permanence. Your grandmother built this over 40 years, Wallace said softly. Every stone, every garden. She said she was creating a fortress for women who needed one. A woman waited at the entrance, tall, elegant, silver hair pulled back, eyes assessing Monica with sharp intelligence. Miss Harrington, I'm Temperance Vale. I was your grandmother's business manager and advisor. I've been waiting for you. Inside, the house stole whatever composure Monica had left. Soaring ceilings, hardwood floors gleaming like honey, artwork that looked priceless. More than luxury, there was warmth. Fresh flowers, comfortable furniture, photographs showing a woman at different life stages. In every photograph, the woman looked powerful and strangely familiar. That's Evangeline, Temperance said. Your grandmother. You have her eyes, her bone structure. The resemblance is remarkable. In the library, Temperance and Wallace explained everything. Your grandmother died 8 months ago. She was 89, sharp until the end. Everything you see belongs to you now. That's impossible, Monica whispered. I never met her. Your mother lied, Temperance said flatly. Evangeline didn't abandon anyone. She was driven away. The story unfolded like a nightmare. Evangeline had married young to a man who seemed charming until the ring was on. Then came control, abuse, systematic destruction of confidence. She'd had one daughter, Monica's mother, and tried to stay for her sake. But when her husband's violence escalated, when he broke Evangeline's arm and told their daughter Mommy had been bad, Evangeline knew she had to leave. She tried to take your mother, Wallace said gently. But your grandfather had money, connections, lawyers. Courts didn't believe women then. He got custody and told your mother Evangeline had abandoned them, that she'd never loved them, that she'd run off with another man. Your mother believed him. Temperance continued. She was 8. She grew up hating her mother, refusing contact. When Evangeline tried to reach out, your mother returned letters unopened. When Evangeline tried to help financially, your mother sent money back. But my grandmother could have fought harder, Monica said. She tried for years, Wallace replied. Eventually she had to accept it. So she did something else. She built an empire. Temperance opened a leather folder, revealing documents that made Monica dizzy. Property deeds, investment portfolios, business holdings. Your grandmother started with nothing. Worked as a seamstress, saved every penny, invested in a boarding house. Within 10 years, she owned 6 properties. Within 20, she'd built a commercial real estate portfolio. She created the Harrington Corporation, luxury accommodations, boutique hotels, properties catering to women traveling alone or escaping difficult situations. Worth approximately $800 million at her death, Wallace added. The Harrington Corporation owns 38 properties across the western states, investment portfolios, this estate, substantial liquid assets. And this belongs to me? Monica's voice cracked. Why? She knew you, Temperance said softly. She watched from a distance your entire life. She wanted to intervene when you struggled, but there was a condition she'd imposed on herself. Wallace leaned forward. Your grandmother believed inheriting wealth without understanding suffering would destroy rather than empower. She wanted you to know what it meant to have nothing before you received the power to never be stripped of anything again. She watched me suffer. Monica felt anger rising. She knew and did nothing. She wrote you letters, Temperance said, pulling out another folder. Hundreds over the years. She never sent them because of her promise to herself. These are yours now. Monica opened the folder with shaking hands. The top letter was dated 3 months ago. My dearest Monica, if you're reading this, you've lost everything. Your marriage has betrayed you. Your friend has destroyed you. Your family has abandoned you. I know because I paid attention. I know because I lived it myself. I know you're strong enough to survive because you carry my blood. The world will try to keep you down. It will whisper that you deserve your pain, that you're not worthy of rising. Do not listen. Take what I've built and use it as a weapon. Build yourself into someone who can never be broken again. Everything I have is yours, not to rest on but to rise with. Show them what we're made of. With all my love and belief, Evangeline. Monica read it 3 times before she could speak. The rest of the letters? In your grandmother's study, Wallace said. Everything here is yours, the house, the staff, the business, the accounts. Temperance and I have been managing things, waiting to teach you everything you need to know. Why would you do that? Monica asked. You don't know me, Temperance smiled. Your grandmother saved my life when I was running from an abusive husband with nothing. She gave me a job, taught me business, made me powerful enough that no one could hurt me again. Wallace has a similar story. We're not employees. We're family by choice. We promised Evangeline we'd do for you what she did for us. Wallace nodded. Watching you discover your strength will be the privilege of our old age. Your grandmother talked about you constantly, wondered what you'd become when you understood your own power. Monica walked to the window. Garden stretched out before her, beautiful and deliberate. This was hers, all of this. I want to learn everything, she said, turning back. Every property, every investment, every aspect of how this empire works. Can you teach me? Temperance stood, eyes gleaming with pride. Your grandmother said you'd say something like that. She said, when you finally got angry, when you finally stopped apologizing for existing, you'd be unstoppable. We can teach you. And I want to know everything about my ex-husband's business, Monica added, voice cold. His debts, his vulnerabilities, his weaknesses. Wallace smiled slowly. Your grandmother kept files on anyone who hurt the people she loved. I believe we have quite a bit of information that might interest you. That night, Monica slept in a bedroom suite larger than her entire former home. She didn't cry. She didn't mourn what she'd lost. Instead, she lay there feeling something new growing inside her chest. Not hope exactly, but hunger. Hunger for knowledge, for power, for the ability to stand before everyone who dismissed her and make them understand their mistake. Tomorrow, Temperance would begin teaching her. Wallace would show her the properties, the investments, the networks. And somewhere, her ex-husband and Simone went about their lives, thinking they'd won, thinking Monica was broken beyond repair. They had no idea what was coming, and that made everything sweeter. Chapter 3. The Education of Power. Dawn broke over the Harrington estate like benediction, and Monica stood at her window watching the world wake up, feeling anticipation instead of despair for the first time in months. Temperance knocked at 7, carrying a leather portfolio and wearing the expression of someone about to enjoy themselves. Ready for your education? The library had been transformed. Charts covered walls. Financial statements spread across tables. A map showed every Harrington property from Seattle to San Diego. Your grandmother built this empire on 3 principles, Temperance began. First, own things people need in moments of transition. Our hotels aren't for vacations. They're for women starting over. We charge luxury prices because we provide sanctuary. Second, never attach your name to anything you can't control completely. The Harrington Corporation owns everything outright, no partners who can betray. Third, always know more about your adversaries than they know about you. Over following weeks, Monica absorbed knowledge like she'd been starving. She learned the corporation's properties weren't just hotels, but strategic acquisitions in climbing real estate markets. She learned about commercial leases, investment portfolios balanced between aggressive growth and conservative holds. She learned names of bankers, lawyers, accountants, people her grandmother had cultivated over decades. Wallace taught her the human side. Your grandmother never forgot what it felt like to have nothing. Every property employs women who need second chances, former victims, women rebuilding after divorce, mothers who aged out of other opportunities. She built an army of people who'd been dismissed and given a chance to prove worth. The physical transformation came naturally. Monica stopped eating from grief and started eating with purpose. She walked the estate's grounds every morning, rebuilding strength. She updated her wardrobe with Temperance's help, elegant pieces commanding respect. She found a stylist who shaped her hair into something sophisticated yet bold. But the real transformation was internal. Every morning she read one of her grandmother's letters. Each offered wisdom forged in pain and tested by time. They will tell you that anger makes you ugly. Don't believe them. Anger, properly channeled, is the fuel that powers every great change. Your ex-husband expects you to cry and beg and break. Disappoint him by becoming successful beyond his comprehension. The best revenge isn't destruction, it's irrelevance. Become so powerful, so successful, so genuinely happy that they become a footnote in your story. Trust is earned in drops and lost in buckets. Give it sparingly from now on, but don't let betrayal make you cruel. Strength protects. Cruelty just wounds. Be strong. 3 months into her education, Temperance dropped a file on the table. I think you're ready for this. Inside was everything about her ex-husband's business, a mid-sized development company built partially on money from their marriage, partially on loans he was struggling to service. The numbers told a story of someone living beyond means, making risky bets, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. He owes approximately $2 million across various lenders, Temperance explained. Most debts come due in the next 18 months. If someone were to quietly purchase those debts through shell companies, they'd effectively own him. Monica studied the papers, heart beating faster. How would that work? We contact his lenders discreetly, offer to buy debt at a small premium. They're happy because it's guaranteed money. We acquire debt through companies that don't trace back to Harrington. When he can't make payments, we have legal right to foreclose on collateral, including properties and the house you used to share. The house, Monica whispered. It's mortgaged beyond its value, Wallace added gently. He took out loans against it. If we foreclosed, we'd be doing him a financial favor. But psychologically, losing that house would devastate him. It's where he keeps his mistress, where he plays at being successful. Monica looked at photographs. Her ex-husband at events with Simone, playing power couple, all smiles and designer clothes. In one photo, Simone wore jewelry Monica recognized. They'd taken everything and worn it like trophies. Do it, she said. Buy the debts. All of them. Temperance smiled. Consider it done. 6 weeks to structure everything. He won't know until it's too late. That night, Monica found herself in her grandmother's study, avoiding it until now because it felt too intimate. The desk was mahogany, the chair worn from decades of use. On the desk sat an envelope with Monica's name. Inside was a letter dated the week before Evangeline died. Dearest Monica, by now you know the business, but I want you to understand why I built it. I didn't become powerful because I loved money. I became powerful because I loved freedom, and in this world, the two are inseparable for women. Every hotel I bought was a place where a woman could sleep safely without a man's permission. Every dollar I made was a vote against the idea that women who leave deserve to suffer. You're going to face a choice soon. You can use what I've given you to destroy the people who hurt you, or you can use it to become someone they could never hurt in the first place. I hope you choose the second path. Destruction is empty. Building something beautiful from ashes, that's immortal. Monica folded the letter carefully. She thought about her ex-husband losing everything the way she had. That would bring satisfaction, yes, but her grandmother was right. It would be empty. What would devastate them? Watching her become magnificent. Watching her rise so far, they'd spend their lives knowing they'd discarded something. Priceless, because they were too small to recognize its value. But that didn't mean she couldn't take back what was hers. Over next months, Monica's education continued, but now she brought her own insights. She identified an undervalued Portland property, pushed for acquisition, watched its value climb as she'd predicted. She restructured contracts with 2 suppliers, saving money while improving service. She proposed a new hotel concept focused on women traveling for medical procedures, with concierge services for recovery and discretion. Your grandmother would have loved this, Temperance said, reviewing the business plan, finding the intersection between genuine human need and profitable business. You're not just learning the empire, you're evolving it. Wallace started introducing her to the network, people who'd done business with Evangeline. At first they were skeptical. Then they talked to her. Then they realized Evangeline hadn't left her empire to a grieving granddaughter who'd squander it. She'd left it to someone who'd earned the right through suffering, who'd been forged in the same fires. You're going to be formidable, one older businessman told her. Your grandmother combined ruthlessness with purpose. I see that same combination in you. The people who hurt you have no idea what's coming. 6 weeks later, Temperance walked in with a satisfied smile and documents. It's done. Through various shell companies, the Harrington Corporation now holds approximately $2.3 million in debt from your ex-husband's business. He has no idea. Now we wait for him to stumble. How long? Monica asked. His first major payment is due in 2 months. Unless he gets extremely lucky, he won't make it. Then we start foreclosure. The house, the properties, everything collateralized. All of it becomes yours. I want to be there when he finds out, Monica said quietly. Temperance's smile widened. I thought you might. We can arrange that. That night, Monica dreamed of her grandmother, young and fierce, building something from nothing. In the dream, Evangeline looked at her and smiled. You're ready? Not for revenge. For resurrection. Now go show them what that looks like. Monica woke with clarity. The next phase was beginning. Her ex-husband thought he'd destroyed her. Soon, he'd learn he'd just removed the chains holding her back. He'd destroy himself, just watching her rise. Chapter 4. The Golden Encounter. The Harrington Foundation's annual gala wasn't just charity, it was declaration. Monica descended the grand staircase in an emerald gown that made her skin glow. The dress was custom-made, perfectly fitted, expensive in the way true luxury whispers. Her only jewelry was her grandmother's emerald necklace, purchased after Evangeline's first major business success. The room noticed. Conversations faltered. Heads turned. Monica felt their assessment, curiosity, surprise at discovering Evangeline Harrington had an heir who looked like this, moved like this, commanded attention like this. For the next hour, Monica worked the room. She met people who'd done business with Evangeline for decades, who shared stories of her sharp mind and sharper negotiations. She met younger entrepreneurs who'd benefited from foundation grants. She met women who'd stayed in Harrington hotels during difficult transitions. Everyone wanted to know her story. Monica navigated with careful honesty. My grandmother and I never met in person, but she left me letters that taught me everything that mattered. I'm honored to continue her work. Then she saw him. He stood near terrace doors, talking with men in expensive suits, but something about his posture suggested he was only partially engaged. Tall, with silver threading through dark hair, his tuxedo fit like it had been made for him. What caught Monica's attention wasn't obvious wealth. It was the way he moved. The economy of gesture, suggesting someone completely comfortable with power. That's Golden Clifton, Temperance murmured. Hotel empire, luxury resorts, and boutique properties. He and your grandmother were friendly competitors. Brilliant, ruthless in business, famously private after a very public divorce 5 years ago. Golden looked up. His eyes met Monica's across the room, and something sparked. Recognition without having met, interest that bypassed introduction. He walked toward them with confidence. Temperance. Good to see you. I was sorry about Evangeline. She was remarkable. She was, Temperance agreed. Golden Clifton. Meet Evangeline's granddaughter and heir, Monica Harrington. Monica Golden owns Clifton Hotels. He's one of the few who built his empire from scratch rather than inheriting it. Golden extended his hand. When Monica took it, she felt calluses, not soft hands of someone who'd never worked, but hands that had built things. Ms. Harrington, he said, your grandmother and I had an interesting relationship. We pushed each other to be better by refusing to let the other dominate any market completely. I'm curious whether you'll continue that tradition. I'm still learning what path is mine, Monica replied. But I suspect I'll honor my grandmother's competitive spirit. She seemed to believe comfortable businesses become complacent. Golden's smile widened. She did say that, usually right before she'd outbid me on a property. Tell me, are you planning expansion or consolidation? That depends. Are you asking as a competitor or making conversation? Can't it be both? The best insights come from casual conversations where people accidentally reveal their thinking. Temperance laughed. I'll leave you two to spar. Monica, I need to speak with directors. Golden, don't interrogate too aggressively. As Temperance left, Golden gestured toward the terrace. Would you like to escape the crowd? I promise I'm more interested in conversation than interrogation. The terrace overlooked the city, lights sparkling below. The cool air was relief after the warmth inside. Your grandmother built something extraordinary, Golden said. Not just profitable, meaningful. Her hotels weren't just places to sleep. They were sanctuaries. I tried to replicate that and never quite achieved what she did. Women felt safe in Harrington hotels. That's rarer than you think. You genuinely admired her. I did. She was ruthless in business but never cruel. There's a difference. She'd outmaneuver you without hesitation, but wouldn't destroy you for sport. In our industry, that's unusual. They talked for over an hour. Business philosophy, the challenge of maintaining quality while scaling, the balance between profitability and purpose. Golden talked about his properties in ways that made clear he cared about more than profit margins. He cared about creating experiences. Monica found herself sharing ideas about expanding the Harrington mission, creating not just hotels, but support systems for women in transition. Golden listened with genuine interest, occasionally pushing back in ways that sharpened rather than dismissed her ideas. You have your grandmother's mind, he said finally. Not just business acumen, but the ability to see human need inside market opportunity. That's rare. If you ever want a sounding board for ideas or want to discuss potential collaborations, I'd be interested, Golden said. Your properties and mine serve similar demographics, but don't compete directly. There might be partnership opportunities. Temperance appeared at the terrace door, amused. Monica, the foundation directors want to meet you. Golden, stop monopolizing our newest board member. Thank you for the conversation, Golden said. It's been the most interesting part of my evening. Mine too, Monica said, and meant it. As she followed Temperance inside, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time, genuine connection. Not desperate neediness, not false intimacy, but something honest and equal. Golden had talked to her like a peer, like someone whose thoughts mattered. He likes you, Temperance said quietly. Golden doesn't waste time on people who bore him. That's significant. The rest of the gala passed in a blur, but Monica's mind kept circling back to the terrace, to Golden, to the way he'd looked at her like she was interesting rather than just beautiful. When she finally returned to the estate, exhausted but exhilarated, she found herself thinking about what Golden had said about transcendence, about moving beyond anger into genuine happiness. She wasn't there yet. She was still rebuilding, still settling accounts, But for the first time, she could imagine a future where her ex-husband and Simone weren't worth thinking about, where her energy went toward building rather than reclaiming. And maybe that future included someone like Golden, someone who understood power without being corrupted by it, someone who'd been broken and rebuilt himself stronger. But first, she had business to finish. Her ex-husband's payment was due in 3 weeks. Soon he'd learn exactly who held his debts. Soon he'd learn the woman he'd dismissed had become someone who couldn't be dismissed by anyone, ever again. Chapter 5. The Business of Revenge. The manila folder sat on Monica's desk like a coiled snake. Inside were foreclosure notices, legal documents, proof of debt ownership. Her ex-husband's payment deadline had passed 2 days ago. His attorney has been trying to reach our shell companies all week, Temperance reported, begging for extensions, proposing payment plans, getting increasingly desperate. They have no idea who actually owns the debt. When will he know the truth? Monica asked. That's your decision. We can inform him through attorneys, or you can arrange a face-to-face meeting. Given what you've expressed about closure, I recommend the latter. Monica thought about the satisfaction of a letter, the clean distance. Then she thought about his face when he'd told her she was needy and exhausting. Arrange a meeting. Tell his attorney the principal debt holder is willing to discuss restructuring, but only in person. Set it for our downtown offices. I want him to walk into Harrington Corporation without knowing what he's walking into. Temperance's smile was fierce. Consider it done. Though I should warn you, this might not feel as satisfying as you imagine. Revenge often doesn't. This isn't revenge, Monica countered. This is accounting. He took things that were partially mine. I'm just reclaiming assets. If you say so, Temperance replied, tone suggesting gentle skepticism. The meeting was set for the following week. In days leading up, Monica vacillated between anticipation and strange hollowness. She'd imagined this moment for months, but now that it was approaching, she wondered if Golden had been right about keeping herself chained to her past. She was wrestling with these thoughts when her assistant buzzed. Golden Clifton was on the phone. Monica, he said, voice warm. I've been thinking about your expansion ideas. I have some thoughts. Any chance you're free for dinner this week? Business dinner, Golden clarified, though I promise to keep actual business discussion under 50%. The other 50 can be getting to know each other better. I'm free tomorrow night. Perfect. I'll send a car. There's a restaurant I've been wanting to try. Exceptional food, private atmosphere. The next evening, Golden's car delivered her to a converted warehouse restaurant near the waterfront. Interior was stunning, exposed brick, intimate lighting, tables spaced for privacy. Golden stood when she arrived. You look beautiful, he said simply, and the directness made Monica blush. They ordered wine and appetizers. For the first half hour, they discussed business, potential partnerships, shared marketing initiatives, bulk purchasing agreements. But gradually, conversation shifted into something more personal. Tell me about your grandmother, Golden said. Not the business icon, but the woman who wrote you letters. Who was she beyond the empire? Monica found herself sharing stories from Evangeline's letters, the wisdom, the hard-won advice, the moments of vulnerability. She talked about how Evangeline had built something meaningful from nothing, how she'd created a business that protected rather than exploited. She sounds like someone I would have liked, Golden said. The best business people aren't the ones who maximize profit at all costs. They're the ones who figure out how to make money while also making things better. Your grandmother understood that. So do you. Did you ever want revenge? Monica asked suddenly. Against your ex-wife and former business partner. Did you ever want to destroy them? Golden set down his glass, expression turning serious. Yes. For about 6 months, revenge was all I thought about. I plotted ways to humiliate them, to take clients, to make them regret everything. What changed? I met someone who told me something important. She said revenge is just pain looking for company, and that I deserved better than to spend my life making others hurt the way I hurt. She said the greatest victory would be becoming genuinely happy, not just successful, but actually happy. Who was this wise person? My daughter, Golden said softly. She was 16 when the divorce happened. She watched me nearly destroy myself with bitterness, and one day she looked at me and said, "Dad, you're letting them win by letting them take your joy. Stop giving them that power." She was right. Monica felt something shift. You have a daughter, two actually. They're adults now, living their own lives. They were the reason I eventually let go of revenge. I didn't want them to inherit my bitterness. I wanted them to see that you can survive betrayal and come out stronger and kinder. They talked about his daughters, brilliant women pursuing careers in medicine and architecture. Golden spoke with obvious pride, and Monica felt herself drawn even more to this man who'd survived betrayal without letting it make him cruel. I have a meeting tomorrow, she found herself saying, with my ex-husband. He doesn't know yet that I hold all his debts, that I'm about to foreclose on everything. I've been anticipating it for weeks. But tonight, talking to you, I'm wondering if I'm making a mistake. Golden was quiet. Are you foreclosing because it's good business or because you want to hurt him? Both? Monica admitted. Then do it, Golden said simply. Not for revenge, but for justice. Take back what's yours, what he stole or manipulated away. That's not petty, that's fair. But once you've reclaimed what's rightfully yours, let it be done. Don't spend years grinding him into dust. Take what's yours, make it clear you're someone who can't be dismissed, then move on to building something beautiful. He reached across the table and took her hand. Can I tell you what I see when I look at you? Yes, Monica whispered. I see someone who's been broken and is rebuilding herself into something magnificent. I see intelligence, strength, potential that hasn't fully revealed itself yet. I see someone I want to know better, someone I want to see succeed, someone I'm drawn to in ways that have nothing to do with business. He squeezed her hand gently. I'm interested in you, Monica. Not as a business partner. I'm interested in you as a woman I'd like to spend time with, get to know, maybe explore something with if you're open to it. Monica felt tears prick her eyes, not from sadness, but from the novelty of being seen clearly and still valued. I'm still rebuilding. I'm not sure I have room for a relationship yet. I'm not asking for a relationship right now, Golden said gently. I'm asking for a chance. Dinner occasionally, conversations, getting to know each other while you continue rebuilding. No pressure, no expectations beyond genuine interest. I'd like that, Monica said. But I need you to understand I'm carrying a lot of damage, and I'm not always going to be easy. Nobody interesting is ever simple, Golden replied. And damage just means you've survived things. I respect survival. They finished dinner talking about lighter things. When Golden's driver dropped her at the estate, he walked her to the door and kissed her hand. Good luck tomorrow, he said. Take back what's yours. Then come tell me about it over dinner next week. I want to hear about your victory. That night, Monica slept better than she had in months. Not for revenge, but for justice. Not to chain herself to the past, but to close that chapter decisively. The Harrington Corporation offices occupied the top 3 floors of a downtown high-rise. Monica arrived early, dressed in a charcoal suit, communicating power without aggression. Temperance met her in the conference room. His attorney called this morning trying to cancel. I told them the meeting was mandatory. They'll be here. They arrived 10 minutes late, a power play that would have worked if they'd had any power. Monica watched through the glass wall as her ex-husband walked through reception with his attorney, both wearing expressions of confused concern. Then he saw her through the glass. He stopped walking so abruptly his attorney nearly collided with him. Monica stood and walked to the conference room door, opening it herself. Hello, Richard. Thank you for coming. Please sit down. We have a lot to discuss. His face went through rapid changes, shock, confusion, dawning horror, sickly understanding. Monica, what are you doing here? This is a meeting between debtor and creditor, she replied calmly, returning to her seat at the head of the table. Please sit. They sat like students called to the principal's office. "The Harrington Corporation owns your debts," she said simply. "All of them. We purchased them from your lenders over the past months. You're in default to the tune of $2.3 million, and as primary creditor, we have legal right to foreclose on all collateralized assets." Richard's face went pale, then flushed angry red. "You did this. This is revenge." "No," Monica said, voice ice cold. "Revenge would be pathetic. This is accounting. You used money from our marriage to build your company. You manipulated me into signing documents I didn't understand. You took the house we bought together. I'm simply reclaiming assets that were partially mine." His attorney cleared his throat. "Miss Harrington, surely we can work out a payment plan." "I'm not interested in payment plans," Monica interrupted. "I'm interested in acquiring the properties collateralized against the loans, specifically the house and the commercial properties." "You can't do this," Richard exploded, standing. "This is vindictive." "Legal," Temperance interjected smoothly. "Completely legal. You signed the documents. You put up collateral. You defaulted. The law is very clear." Richard turned to Monica, and for a moment she saw something like the man she'd married. Vulnerable, scared, human. "Monica, please, don't do this. That house, those properties, they're everything I have. Simone and I, we made a mistake, but you can't destroy my entire life over it." "I'm not destroying your life," Monica said, standing to face him. "I'm taking back what was partially mine. You destroyed my life, my home, my job, my reputation, my sense of worth. You told me I was needy and exhausting, that I'd never amount to anything. You watched me lose everything and felt nothing." "That's not true," he protested weakly. "Isn't it? You knew I was fired. You knew I was living in a motel. Did you once reach out? Did you once question whether you'd been too cruel?" She paused. "You didn't, because you believed I deserved it. You believed I was nothing without you. And now you're proving you're just as vindictive as I thought." He snapped. "No," Monica said, calm and certain. "Now I'm proving I'm someone who can't be erased, can't be dismissed, can't be destroyed by people who underestimated me. This isn't about making you suffer. It's about making it clear that I'm someone who reclaims what's hers." She nodded to Temperance, who slid foreclosure documents across the table. "Sign these, transfer the properties peacefully, and we'll call the debt settled. Fight it, and we'll pursue every legal avenue, drag this through courts, make it public and humiliating. Your choice." Richard stared at the documents. His attorney whispered urgently. Finally, with shaking hands, he picked up the pen. "I hate you," he said, looking up at Monica. "I will always hate you for this." "Good," Monica replied. "That means you'll remember me. You'll remember that the woman you dismissed became powerful enough to take everything you had. And maybe next time you'll think twice before treating another woman like she's worthless." He signed with violent slashes, then stood so abruptly the chair fell backward. "Simone was right about you. You're cold, heartless. No wonder I had to find warmth somewhere else." Monica felt the words land, felt the old pain, and then felt something new. Not pain, just clarity. "Get out of my building," she said quietly. "We're done here." After they left, Monica stood at the window, looking at the city below. She'd imagined this would feel triumphant. Instead, it felt empty, necessary but hollow. "Are you all right?" Wallace asked gently. "I don't know," Monica admitted. "I got what I wanted, but I don't feel the way I thought I would." "That's because revenge never feels as good as we imagine," Temperance said. "Justice is necessary sometimes, but satisfaction comes from building something new, not tearing down something old." "I want to expand the foundation," Monica said suddenly. "Not just hotels and safe places, but actual resources. Legal services for women going through divorce. Career counseling, housing assistance. I want to build something that helps women rebuild." Temperance smiled. "Your grandmother would love that." That night, Monica called Golden. "It's done. I got my house back, my properties, everything he took." "How do you feel?" Golden asked. "Empty, satisfied but empty. Like I checked off a necessary box, but it didn't change anything fundamental." "That's normal. Closure rarely feels the way we expect. But now you can move forward without looking back. Now you can build something beautiful. That's what I want, Monica said. And I'd like to tell you about it. Are you free for dinner? For you, always. Same restaurant? Or somewhere new? Somewhere new, Monica said, smiling. I'm ready for something new. Chapter 6. The Unexpected Alliance. 3 weeks after the confrontation, Monica stood in what used to be her marital home and tried to feel something other than hollowness. The house was exactly as she'd left it, her furniture, her artwork, but corrupted by Simone's touches. New pillows clashing with colors, cheap candles leaving wax rings, photographs of Richard and Simone where wedding pictures used to hang. Do you want to keep any of it? Wallace asked. Donate everything, Monica said. The furniture, the artwork, everything. I don't want a single piece that holds memories of who I used to be, even things you chose yourself. Monica walked through rooms that should have felt like home, but just felt like a museum of pain. Especially those things. They belonged to a woman who trusted too easily. I'm not her anymore. What will you do with the property? Transform it, Monica said suddenly. The Harrington Foundation needs a headquarters, somewhere women can come for resources. Let's turn it into something that helps people instead of holding ghosts. Wallace smiled. Your grandmother would approve. The next day, Golden called with a proposition. Je suis tout sincère. Remember when I mentioned potential collaboration? I've been working on a specific idea. Are you free tomorrow afternoon? The address Golden texted was in a neighborhood undergoing gentrification. Golden waited outside a massive brick building. Architectural plans rolled under his arm. Welcome to what could be our first joint project. Inside, the warehouse was empty, but had incredible potential. Soaring ceilings, original brick walls, huge windows flooding light. As they walked, Golden outlined his vision. This building is zoned for mixed commercial and residential. I'm proposing we purchase it jointly and create something revolutionary. A Clifton Harrington Center. Ground floor would have a boutique hotel, Clifton style for short-term stays. Second floor would be extended stay units, Harrington style for women in transition. Top 2 floors would be offices for foundation work, legal aid, career counseling, mental health services. Monica felt her breath catch. That's ambitious. Also expensive. Very expensive, Temperance agreed, but her eyes were calculating. However, the location is excellent. Short-term hotel would be profitable immediately. Extended stays would serve mission while generating income. Office space could be partially rented, offsetting costs while expanding services. Exactly, Golden said. This wouldn't be charity disguised as business. It would be legitimate business serving a mission. Both our brands benefit. They spent the next hour discussing logistics. Temperance and Golden's team traded ideas with increasing enthusiasm. Monica found herself caught up in the vision, not just a building, but a template for how business could serve purpose without sacrificing profitability. There's one more thing, Golden said as they prepared to leave. This would mean our companies becoming partners. But more than that, it would mean us working together closely for the next year at minimum. We'd be seeing each other several times weekly. Is that a warning or a promise? Monica asked, smiling. Both? I want you to go into this with clear eyes. I'm interested in this project professionally because it's brilliant business. But I'm also interested in you personally, and mixing those things requires clarity. I don't want you to feel pressured. After Temperance left to make calls, Monica and Golden stood in sunlight, streaming through dusty windows. I like you, Monica said simply. These past weeks, our dinners and conversations have been the best part of my life right now. You make me feel seen and valued, but I'm scared. Of what? Golden asked gently. Of trusting the wrong person again. Of mistaking kindness for manipulation. Of being so hungry for connection that I ignore warning signs. My judgment was catastrophically wrong before. What if it's wrong now? Golden nodded slowly. Those are legitimate fears. I can't promise you won't get hurt again. Nobody can promise that. But I can promise I'm not your ex-husband. I'm not pretending interest to manipulate you. I'm genuinely drawn to you, to your mind, your strength, the way you're rebuilding yourself. If that's not enough, if you need more time, I understand completely. What if we do both? Monica suggested. What if we move forward with the business partnership because it's genuinely good business, and we see where the personal connection goes without forcing it? No pressure, no expectations, just honesty and time? That sounds perfect, Golden said, extending his hand. Business partners? Monica shook his hand, but when she moved to let go, Golden held on a moment longer. For the record, I think your judgment is fine. You're cautious now, which is wisdom. But you're also still open to possibility, which is courage. That combination is going to serve you well. Over following months, the Clifton Harrington Center project consumed both companies. Monica discovered she loved the creative challenge of designing spaces serving both profitability and purpose. She and Golden met regularly, sometimes with teams, sometimes just the two of them, working through details over coffee or dinner that inevitably moved from business to personal. She learned Golden was funny, with dry wit that caught her off guard. She learned he was generous with knowledge, teaching her about construction and design without condescension. She learned he was patient with her cautiousness, never pushing for more than she was ready to give, and slowly, carefully, she found herself falling. Not desperate, needy love she'd had before, but something more solid, built on respect and genuine compatibility, on shared values and mutual challenge. 4 months into the project, Monica received an unexpected visit. Her sister appeared at the estate, looking uncomfortable. "Can we talk?" They sat in the garden, awkward silence stretching. Finally, her sister spoke. "I was wrong. About everything. About believing the lies. About not supporting you, about choosing their version over yours. I've been watching from a distance, seeing what you've become, and I'm ashamed." "What changed?" Monica asked. "Oh, why now?" "I saw Richard and Simone. They're falling apart. He's working some menial job. She's bitter and broke. They hate each other. And I realized you didn't destroy them. They destroyed themselves. But you rebuilt yourself into someone remarkable. I didn't do it for you to notice," Monica said carefully. "I know. But I'm here to say I'm sorry, and I'd like a chance to be your sister again, if you're willing." She hesitated. "And to warn you, Mom is planning to challenge your inheritance. She found some lawyer who thinks he can argue Evangeline wasn't competent. It's nonsense, but it could be ugly." Monica felt ice settle in her stomach. "And, she would do that?" "She's bitter and broke and convinced she deserves it more. She's saying you manipulated Evangeline somehow." After her sister left, with tentative promises of maybe rebuilding their relationship, Monica called Temperance and Wallace. "Let her try," Temperance said flatly. "Your grandmother's will is ironclad. Multiple witnesses, psychiatric evaluations, detailed explanations. Any challenge will fail, but yes, it could be ugly and public." That night, Monica sat in her grandmother's study reading letters, searching for guidance. She found it in a letter dated 5 years before Evangeline's death. "Your mother will fight you for this inheritance. Not because she wants the money, though she'll tell herself that's why. She'll fight because she can't stand that I chose you over her, that I saw in you what I couldn't see in her, the willingness to grow beyond pain rather than be defined by it. When she attacks, remember this, her fight isn't with you. It's with me. Don't let her pull you into her war. Fight legally, fight firmly, but don't let it touch your heart. You've become someone remarkable. Don't let anyone make you small again." When Monica told Golden about the impending legal challenge, he listened with focused attention. "This is going to be difficult," he said. "Family battles always are. How are you feeling? Angry, sad, confused why she'd rather fight me than be proud of me?" Monica leaned back, exhausted. "Part of me wants to just give her money to make her go away. But another part knows that wouldn't satisfy her. She doesn't want money. She wants to prove I don't deserve what I have." "Then prove her wrong," Golden said simply. "Not by arguing, but by being undeniably successful. Build something so remarkable that even her bitterness can't deny it." "Is that what you did?" "Eventually. At first I argued and defended. But you can't logic someone out of a position they didn't logic themselves into. So I stopped defending and started building. Built the business bigger, built my reputation stronger, built a life she couldn't touch. Eventually, the truth became obvious. Monica looked at Golden, this man who'd survived betrayals and emerged kind rather than bitter.
What are we doing?
This thing between us. What is it? What do you want it to be? Golden asked. I don't know. I know I think about you constantly. I know our dinners are what I look forward to most. I know I trust you in ways I haven't trusted anyone in a long time. But I'm terrified of being wrong again. Then let's be clear, Golden said, moving to sit beside her. I'm in love with you, Monica. I have been since that first conversation at the gala. You're brilliant and strong and beautiful, and being around you makes me want to be better. But I'm not going to pressure you. If you need more time, take it. If you need me to just be a business partner and friend for now, I can do that. What I can't do is pretend I don't want more, because you deserve honesty. Monica felt tears welling, not from sadness, but from overwhelming relief of being loved clearly, directly, without games. I'm not ready to call this a relationship yet, but I'm ready to stop pretending it's just business or just friendship. Can we be something in between for now? We can be whatever you need us to be, Golden said, taking her hand. There's no timeline here. We're building something together, the center, yes, but also maybe something personal. Let's just build it honestly and see where we end up. That night, lying in bed, Monica thought about her mother's impending challenge, about her ex-husband's bitterness, about all the people who wanted to drag her back down. Then she thought about Golden's steadfast support, about Temperance and Wallace's loyalty, about the empire she was building. Her grandmother had been right. The past was finite, old grievances, old wounds, old battles. But the future was unlimited, and for the first time since everything fell apart, Monica knew with absolute certainty that she was choosing the future, choosing to build something beautiful, choosing to let love, careful, honest, hard-won love be part of her resurrection. Let her mother challenge the inheritance. Let Richard and Simone stew in consequences. Let anyone who wanted to doubt her try. She was Monica Evangeline Harrington, granddaughter of a woman who'd built an empire from ashes, and she was just getting started. Chapter 7. The Public Reckoning. The lawsuit papers arrived on a Tuesday morning, delivered with bureaucratic indifference. Monica read them once, twice, 3 times before fully processing. Mental incompetence, undue influence, emotional manipulation of an elderly woman. Her mother wasn't just challenging the inheritance, she was trying to destroy Monica's character. She's claiming you somehow manipulated Evangeline despite never having met her, Temperance explained, voice tight with controlled anger. She's arguing the conditions for inheritance, experiencing complete devastation, constitute elder abuse by proxy, that Evangeline was unstable when she created the trust. That's insane, Monica said flatly. There are psychiatric evaluations, witness statements, decades of documented competence. She doesn't, Wallace said quietly. This isn't about winning legally. It's about damaging you publicly. Accusations will be in papers before rebuttals. People will remember the scandal more than the dismissal. She's counting on public opinion mattering more than law. He was right. Within days, the story broke. Harrington, heir accused of manipulation. Did Evangeline Harrington's granddaughter exploit her? Family challenges, controversial inheritance. Monica watched her reputation become fodder for speculation. Some defended her, citing her business acumen and the foundation's work. But others whispered that maybe there was truth to accusations, that nobody inherited that much without darkness behind it. The worst part was watching people she'd begun to trust become cautious. Business contacts took longer to return calls. Invitations became less frequent. Even some foundation donors quietly distanced themselves, pending resolution of the legal situation. Golden found her one evening at the construction site, standing alone in what would eventually be the foundation's lobby. "I thought I'd find you here," he said softly. "Everyone's pulling back," Monica said without preamble. "Not overtly, but I can feel it. The whispers, the questions, the sudden caution. My mother did exactly what she intended, made me toxic." "Not everyone," Golden corrected. "I'm not pulling back. Temperance and Wallace aren't. Your real friends aren't going anywhere. But it's affecting you too. I've seen articles questioning the Clifton-Harrington partnership, asking if you're being manipulated. This is damaging your reputation by proximity." Golden was quiet for a long moment. "Yes," he admitted. "Some people are questioning my judgment. My board suggested I might want to distance myself. I told them no." "Why?" Monica demanded, turning to face him. "Why tie yourself to this mess when you could step back, wait it out, protect yourself?" Because I don't believe the accusations," Golden said simply. "Because I've watched you build rather than destroy for months. Because I know what it's like to be falsely accused and have people believe lies over truth. And because—" He hesitated, then continued with quiet intensity, "because I love you, and love doesn't retreat when things get difficult." Monica felt something break open in her chest, not pain, but something like hope, mixed with fear. "You can't love me. This is still so new." "I know enough," Golden said. "I know you're brave and brilliant and building something meaningful. I know you treat people with respect, that you're generous with knowledge, that you're funny when you're not worried about appearances. I know being around you makes me want to be better. That's enough." "What if the court rules against me?" Monica asked, voicing the fear keeping her awake. "What if they find a technicality?" "Yes," Golden interrupted. "If you lost every dollar tomorrow, I'd still feel exactly the same. I fell in love with who you are, not what you have. Though I'll also say your lawyers are confident that won't happen. Your grandmother was too smart, too thorough. The lawsuit is theater, not legitimate legal threat." "It doesn't feel like theater," Monica admitted. "Then let's fight back," Golden said. "Not just legally, but publicly. Stop being defensive and start being proactive. Tell your story, the real story. Let people see who you actually are." With Golden's encouragement and Temperance's strategic guidance, Monica agreed to a major interview with a respected business journalist. Not a puff piece or defensive rebuttal, but an honest conversation about her grandmother's legacy and her own journey. The interview took place at the estate, Monica walking the journalist through the grounds while explaining Evangeline's vision, sharing letters with permission, detailing the business strategy behind the Harrington Corporation's work. She talked about her marriage's collapse, the betrayal, the motel room, not for sympathy, but to explain why her grandmother had set conditions. "She wanted me to understand what it meant to have nothing before I had everything," Monica explained. "Not because she was cruel, but because she believed privilege without perspective creates weakness. My grandmother wanted to break that cycle." "Your mother claims you manipulated an elderly woman," the journalist said bluntly. "I never met my grandmother in person," Monica replied. "Every interaction was through letters she wrote, but never sent until after her death. You can verify that with lawyers who administered the trust, with staff who worked for her, with psychiatric evaluations done quarterly for the last 5 years of her life. My mother's accusations aren't based on evidence, they're based on resentment." "That's harsh." "It's honest. My mother has been bitter my entire life about things she felt entitled to, but didn't receive. That bitterness shaped her, and now she's trying to use it to damage me. I feel sorry for her, but I won't let her destroy what my grandmother built." The article ran with the headline, "From Motel to Magnate, the real story of Monica Harrington." It was balanced, thorough, and included interviews with people who'd known Evangeline, staff who'd worked for her, legal experts explaining why the challenge was frivolous. Public opinion began to shift. The narrative changed from manipulative granddaughter to resilient woman honoring her grandmother's legacy. Business contacts started returning calls. Donors renewed commitments. The whispers quieted. Then came the court hearing. Monica dressed with care, elegant but not ostentatious, professional but not cold. Golden insisted on attending, sitting in the gallery with Temperance and Wallace. "You shouldn't face this alone," he'd said. Her mother's lawyer presented their case, Evangeline's unusual conditions, the claim that watching families suffer without intervention constituted abuse. Psychiatric experts arguing any competent person would have helped their granddaughter. Then, Monica's lawyers methodically dismantled every argument. They presented Evangeline's own words, showed quarterly psychiatric evaluations proving sharp competence, demonstrated the trust's legal strength. Most devastatingly, they called Wallace to testify. Did Evangeline Harrington discuss her decision to structure the inheritance as she did? Monica's attorney asked. "Extensively," Wallace replied. "She agonized over it for years. She'd watched her daughter struggle with resentment and entitlement her whole life. She worried that simply giving Monica wealth would create the same pattern. So she ensured Monica understood suffering before inheriting power, because she believed only someone who'd been powerless could be trusted to use power responsibly." Did she ever express doubt? Only once. When she learned Monica was living in a motel, she cried. "She asked me if she was being cruel. I told her I didn't know. She said, 'Neither do I. But I trust that if Monica survives this, she'll be unstoppable. And the world needs more unstoppable women.' 3 weeks later, she died. The trust was activated exactly as planned. The courtroom was silent when Wallace finished. Monica saw her mother's face, bitter, defeated, realizing she'd lost before the judge even spoke. The ruling came 2 weeks later, dismissal with prejudice, meaning the case couldn't be refiled. The judge's written opinion was scathing toward the challenge, noting it was without legal merit and appeared motivated by family animus rather than legitimate concern. Monica should have felt triumphant. Instead, she felt empty, the same hollowness after confronting Richard. Winning against people who wanted to destroy you didn't change anything fundamental. But something else happened, something unexpected and healing. The Harrington Foundation, now headquartered in Monica's former marital home, began receiving attention. Women seeking help started showing up, some fleeing bad situations, some rebuilding after divorce, some just needing a safe place to figure out next steps. Monica started spending time there, not as remote executive, but as someone who sat with these women and shared her own story. She told them about the motel room, about feeling erased, about the long climb back. And she watched as her honesty gave them permission to believe they could climb too. One woman, recently divorced after her husband's financial abuse, looked at Monica with tears. "You really understand. You're not just rich person pretending to care. You actually know what this feels like." "I do," Monica said, "and I promise you it gets better. Not easier necessarily, but better. You get stronger. You become someone who can't be broken again." Golden found her there one evening, sitting in what used to be her living room, but was now a community space for women to gather. "This is beautiful," he said quietly. "Your grandmother would be so proud." "I hope so," Monica replied. "I kept thinking revenge would feel better, that watching my mother lose or Richard lose his business would satisfy something. But this," she gestured around, "this actually feels meaningful. Helping people, giving them resources I didn't have, creating community. This feels like winning in a way that matters." "It is," Golden assured her. "This is the victory that lasts. Everything else is just accounting." That night, after the foundation closed, Golden walked Monica to her car. They'd been circling around their relationship for months. Dinners, conversations, careful honesty. But something had shifted during the trial, during Golden's unwavering support. "I'm in love with you," Monica said suddenly. "I've been fighting it because I was scared, because I thought I couldn't trust my judgment, because everything was complicated. But watching you stand by me, watching you believe in me even when it cost you professionally, watching you care about this work as much as I do, I can't pretend anymore. I love you." Golden's face transformed with pure joy. "Finally," he said, pulling her close. I've been waiting months to hear you say that. I'm still scared, Monica admitted, face pressed against his chest. I'm still worried I'll mess this up or that you'll realize I'm not worth the trouble. You're worth everything, Golden said firmly. And we'll figure it out together. No games, no manipulation. Just two people who survived betrayal and decided to risk trusting again. Their first kiss happened in the parking lot of what used to be Monica's house of pain and was now her foundation of purpose. It was gentle and certain and felt like the beginning of something that might actually last. Walking to her car, hand in hand with Golden, Monica thought about how far she'd traveled from that motel room, not just physically or financially, but emotionally. She'd become someone who could face accusations without crumbling, who could fight battles without becoming bitter, who could love again without losing herself. Her mother would probably never speak to her again. Richard and Simone were irrelevant footnotes. The people who'd dismissed her had been proven wrong, but more importantly, she'd proven something to herself, that she was capable of rising, of building, of becoming magnificent. And now she had Golden, someone who'd seen her at her worst and her best, and chosen to love all of it. The future, for the first time in years, looked not just survivable, but genuinely beautiful. Chapter 8. The Family Warfare. The Clifton Harrington Centre opened on a brilliant autumn morning, all soaring glass and exposed brick and possibilities humming in every corner. The ribbon-cutting ceremony attracted press, dignitaries, and most importantly, women who'd already been helped by the foundation. Monica stood at the podium in a sapphire dress, Golden beside her in a perfectly tailored suit, feeling pride radiating through her entire being. They'd built this together, hotel levels booking solid, extended stay units full of women rebuilding, office floors buzzing with foundation work. My grandmother believed business should serve purpose without sacrificing profitability, Monica told the assembled crowd. She believed women deserved sanctuaries, resources, and most of all, belief in their own capacity to rise. This centre honors her vision while expanding it. We're not just providing temporary help, we're creating sustainable paths forward. And we're proving that doing good and doing well aren't mutually exclusive. Golden spoke next, generous in crediting Monica's vision. Watching him, Monica felt warmth. They'd been officially together for 6 months now, and every day reinforced her initial instinct. This man was genuinely good, genuinely supportive, genuinely in love with her. The ceremony ended with applause and tours and champagne. Monica worked the crowd with practiced ease, comfortable now in her role as Evangeline Harrington's heir. She introduced women the foundation had helped to donors who'd funded their assistance. She showed Golden's business associates the elegant hotel spaces. She posed for photographs with staff, with board members, with Golden beside her looking proud. Then she saw them, 3 figures at the edge of the crowd. Her mother, her ex-husband Richard and Simone, together like a coalition of misery. Temperance materialized at Monica's elbow. Security can escort them out. No, Monica said quietly. Let them watch. Let them see exactly what I built from the ashes they created. Her mother approached first, face pinched. Quite the spectacle. All this money and you couldn't even invite your own mother. You sued me, Monica replied flatly. You tried to take everything I inherited, accuse me of manipulation. Why would I want you here? I'm still your mother. That should count for something. It should, Monica agreed. But you spent my life making me feel insufficient. And when I found my own power, you tried to destroy it. So no, being my mother doesn't buy you access to my success. Richard stepped forward, looking diminished. Cheaper clothes, harder edges, gloss of success completely gone. I need to talk to you about the house, about working out some arrangement. Simone and I are struggling, and you have so much now. Surely you could— No, Monica interrupted. I couldn't. You destroyed my life systematically and felt nothing. You told me I'd never amount to anything. Well, here I am, amounting to quite a lot. And you're exactly where your choices led you. That's not my problem. Simone finally spoke, voice sharp with familiar cruelty. You think this makes you better than us? You think money erases what you are, needy, desperate, pathetic. You're just playing dress-up. Eventually, people will see through it. Before Monica could respond, Golden appeared, his presence solid and protective. I think you three need to leave. This is a private event and you weren't invited. And who are you? Richard sneered. Her latest meal ticket? How long before she drives you away with her neediness? I'm Golden Clifton, Golden said calmly. Her partner in this venture. Her partner in life. And someone who's known Monica long enough to recognize she's the strongest, most capable woman I've ever met. You three had her and threw her away because you couldn't recognize her value. That's your loss, not hers. Now leave before security makes you. They left, reluctantly, bitterly, but not before Monica's mother delivered one final barb. You're just like your grandmother. Cold, unforgiving, putting business before family. You'll end up alone, just like she did. Grandmother ended up powerful, respected and satisfied with what she'd built, Monica called after her. If that's alone, I'll take it. After they left, Golden wrapped his arm around Monica's shoulders. You okay? I am, Monica said, surprised to find it true. Seeing them didn't hurt the way I thought it would. They looked small, diminished by their own bitterness. I felt sorry for them more than anything. That's growth, Golden observed. When your former tormentors become objects of pity rather than fear, you've transcended them completely. The rest of the day passed in celebration. That evening, after everyone had left, Monica and Golden walked through the empty center. I've been thinking, Golden said, about the future, about us, about what we're building together. Those are big thoughts, Monica said, smiling. I want to marry you, Golden said simply. Not someday, not eventually, soon. I want us to legally join our lives the way we've already practically joined them. I want you to know I'm committed completely, that I see a future with you that includes not just business partnerships, but real partnership in everything. Monica felt her heart hammering. That's fast. We've only been together 6 months. I've known I wanted this since that first gala conversation, Golden said. The 6 months have just confirmed it. But if you need more time, I understand. I'm not going anywhere. The offer stands whenever you're ready. Monica thought about her first marriage, rushed into, based on neediness and fear. Then she thought about what she had with Golden, built slowly, tested by scrutiny and legal battles, rooted in mutual respect and genuine compatibility. Yes, she heard herself say, not because I'm scared or desperate or need you to validate my worth. Yes, because you make me better. Because you stood by me when it would have been easier not to. Because I want to build a future with you, yes. Golden's face transformed with joy, and he pulled a small box from his pocket. I've been carrying this around for weeks, waiting for the right moment. The ring was perfect, elegant, substantial without being ostentatious, exactly her style. As Golden slipped it on her finger, Monica felt the final piece of her reconstruction click into place. But life had more complications. 2 weeks after their engagement, Monica's sister called with devastating news. Their mother had suffered a stroke, serious but not fatal, leaving her partially paralyzed and unable to care for herself. The hospital wants to know about long-term care plans, her sister explained. She has no insurance, no savings. I can't take her in. I know you two aren't speaking, but you're the only one with resources to help. Monica sat in her grandmother's study, staring at Evangeline's photograph, trying to figure out the right choice. Her mother had tried to destroy her, had spent a lifetime making her feel insufficient, had sued her out of spite. But she was still her mother, still a human being who needed help. What do I do? She asked Golden when he arrived. What's the right choice? There's no purely right choice, Golden said gently. There's only the choice you can live with. You could let her suffer the consequences. That would be justice. Or you could help despite everything. That would be mercy. Neither makes you good or bad. They're just different expressions of your values. Monica thought about her grandmother's letters, about building rather than destroying. She thought about women at the foundation who'd received mercy when they needed it, second chances when they'd made mistakes. I'll pay for her care, she decided. Not in my home, not with ongoing personal involvement, but I'll ensure she has quality care in a good facility, that her needs are met. Not because she deserves it, but because I deserve to know I chose mercy over vengeance. That's generous, Golden observed. It's strategic, Monica corrected. If I let her suffer, part of me would always wonder if I'd become what she accused me of being, cold, unforgiving. This way, I know I'm better than that, and she'll have to live with the knowledge that the daughter she tried to destroy chose to help her anyway. Arranging her mother's care took weeks. The facility Monica chose was expensive but excellent, providing rehabilitation and long-term support. She paid for everything through a trust that would continue after her death. Her mother never said thank you, never apologized, just accepted the care with bitter entitlement, as if Monica owed her this. "Does it bother you?" her sister asked during one of their increasingly frequent conversations. "That she's not grateful?" "No," Monica said and meant it. "I didn't do this for gratitude. I did it because it was right, because it let me be the person I want to be, rather than the person pain might have made me." Her response doesn't change that. Through it all, Golden was steady. He attended facility visits when Monica asked. He provided perspective when she spiraled into doubt. He celebrated her victories and mourned her losses. He was, in every way that mattered, a true partner. 6 months after the center opened, Golden and Monica stood at the facility after meeting with care coordinators. As they walked to the car, Monica's mother called out from her wheelchair, "Monica, wait." They stopped and Monica's mother wheeled closer with the one arm that still worked. Her face was different now, softer somehow, less bitter. "I've been doing therapy," her mother said without preamble. "Not just physical therapy, mental health therapy. The facility requires it. And my therapist has been making me look at things differently." She paused, struggling with words. "I was wrong. About everything. About suing you. About believing you didn't deserve what Evangeline left you. About choosing bitterness over pride in my own daughter. I've been wrong for a very long time." Monica felt tears prick her eyes, but kept her voice steady. "What changed?" "Helplessness," her mother said bluntly. "Being unable to care for myself. Being dependent on charity from the daughter I tried to destroy. It gave me perspective. You could have left me with nothing. Instead, you gave me dignity when I tried to take yours. That's more than I deserved." "Yes," Monica agreed, "it was. But it was also who I needed to be. Someone who chose mercy over revenge. Not for you. For me, I understand that now. And I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect a relationship. But I wanted you to know that I see what you've become, and her voice cracked, "I'm proud of you, even though I have no right to be." Monica looked at her mother, diminished, honest for perhaps the first time, offering an apology that came decades too late, but was still genuine. She felt Golden's hand find hers. "Thank you," Monica said finally. "I'm not ready for more than that yet. But thank you." As they drove away, Golden asked gently, "How are you feeling?" "Like I finally understand what my grandmother meant," Monica said. "About choosing the future over the past. My mother apologized, and it mattered, but it didn't change anything fundamental. I'd already moved beyond needing her approval. Having it is nice, but not having it wouldn't have diminished what I've built." "That's wisdom," Golden observed. "That's survival," Monica corrected. "The wisdom is recognizing that some battles end not with victory, but with irrelevance. My mother stopped mattering to my happiness long before she apologized. That's the real triumph." That night, lying in bed with Golden beside her, planning their wedding and future, Monica thought about the journey from motel room to this moment. Every painful step, every betrayal, every choice to rise rather than stay down. Her grandmother had been right about everything. The devastation had been necessary. The suffering had been the forge. The inheritance wasn't just money. It was permission to become powerful and resources to use that power well. And Golden, he was the gift she'd never expected. The man who saw her strength and loved it, who challenged her to be better and celebrated when she succeeded. The past was finally settled. Her accounts were balanced. Her family's dysfunction was acknowledged, but no longer controlling. Now there was just the future, unlimited, beautiful, and entirely hers to build. Chapter 9. The Empire Strikes Back. The wedding was private, elegant, perfect. Just close friends, chosen family, people who'd stood by them through difficult years. Temperance and Wallace both cried. Golden's daughters, now Monica's stepdaughters, welcomed her with genuine warmth. It was everything a wedding should be, joyful celebration of partnership rather than performance. The honeymoon was a 6-month journey, working remotely while exploring places Monica had only dreamed of. Italy, where Golden showed her small hotels he'd renovated early in his career. Then Greece, Japan, New Zealand, South Africa, each destination chosen not just for beauty, but for insight into how different cultures approached hospitality and women's empowerment. In Cape Town, they visited a women's cooperative creating economic opportunities for survivors. In Tokyo, they studied co-living spaces designed for women rebuilding after divorce. In Auckland, they met social entrepreneurs who'd built profitable businesses supporting single mothers. Everywhere Monica gathered ideas, made connections, envisioned how to adapt best practices. "You're always working," Golden observed one morning in their Moroccan riad, watching Monica take notes. "I'm always building," Monica corrected. "There's a difference. Work is obligation. Building is joy. I love seeing how people create solutions. Don't you?" "I do," Golden admitted. "But I also love this," he pulled her into his arms, "moments when we're just together without agendas. Can we have a day of just being married and in love?" They compromised, mornings for exploration and research, afternoons for being tourists, evenings for being newlyweds. It was a balance that worked, blending personal and professional naturally. They returned to California to news both exciting and concerning. The Clifton Harrington Center had exceeded all projections. Hotel bookings solid, extended stays at capacity, foundation services stretched by demand. They needed to expand, replicate the model in other cities. Simultaneously, the business world had taken notice. Profile pieces appeared about the partnership, about Monica's transformation from betrayed wife to business magnate, about Golden's evolution from divorce survivor to family man again. Some coverage was admiring, some skeptical, all intensely scrutinizing. Then came the unexpected development. Richard published a tell-all proposal, Living with Monica, the truth behind the Harrington myth, shopping it to tabloids and publishers, claiming he'd reveal the real story of their marriage. "He's claiming you were secretly wealthy the whole time, that you orchestrated your own downfall to gain sympathy and position for inheritance," Temperance reported, voice tight with fury. "He's painting himself as victim of your long-term scheme. It's complete fiction, but some publishers are interested." Monica felt old anger stirring, but pushed it down. "Can we stop it legally?"
Possibly.
"We could argue defamation, seek an injunction, but that gives him publicity. Alternatively," Temperance paused, smiling, "we could buy the publishing company and kill the book that way. Or we could do something simpler," Monica suggested. "Let me tell the real story first. A genuine memoir, not sensationalized, just honest. My journey from motel to here, lessons learned, how I rebuilt. If that's already out there, his version becomes obviously false." Over next months, Monica worked with a ghostwriter to craft her story, not hiding pain or betrayals, but framing them as forge rather than destruction. She included her grandmother's letters with permission. She detailed business strategies learned and implemented. She acknowledged mistakes and growth. The book, Rising: One Woman's Journey from Devastation to Dynasty, became an unexpected bestseller. Women saw themselves in Monica's story, Not the wealth necessarily, but the betrayal, the rebuilding, the choice to become powerful rather than bitter. Book clubs read it. Business schools used it as a case study. The Foundation's profile grew exponentially. Richard's tell-all, when it finally appeared in a third-tier tabloid, looked petty and desperate. His claims were so easily disproven by public records, and Monica's honest accounting, that even sympathetic readers dismissed them. The story died within a week. "He tried to destroy you one more time," Golden observed, "and you turned it into a triumph instead. Your grandmother would be so proud." But the book's success brought complications. Monica became a public figure. Requests for speaking engagements, interview requests, women reaching out with their own stories. The Foundation's work expanded beyond California, with women from across the country seeking assistance. The Harrington-Clifton Partnership began opening centers in other cities: Seattle, Portland, San Diego, Denver. Each location adapted the model to local needs while maintaining core mission. Each opening generated press and more demand. Monica found herself traveling constantly, splitting time between business operations and foundation work. Golden traveled when possible, but increasingly, they were managing separate empires while trying to maintain their partnership. "We need to be careful," Golden said one night after they'd been apart 2 weeks despite being married less than a year. "The work is important, but so are we. Let's not build an empire at the expense of our relationship." They adjusted, designating certain weeks as travel-free, certain evenings as work-free, certain conversations as off-limits for business. It wasn't perfect, but it was sustainable, a conscious choice to protect their relationship. 3 years after the center's opening, the Harrington Foundation had grown into a national organization with regional offices, partner organizations, and a reputation for genuine impact. Monica had become one of the most recognized businesswomen in the country, her face appearing on magazine covers. But success brought scrutiny. Competitors questioned the Foundation's finances, suggesting money meant for services was being siphoned into the corporation. Former employees sold stories about toxic positivity and unrealistic expectations. Every decision was examined, criticized, defended, and debated. "This is the price of visibility," Temperance explained, during a particularly brutal media cycle. "The more successful you become, the more people want to tear you down. Your grandmother dealt with this constantly. She learned to ignore it and let her work speak." Monica tried to follow that advice, but it was exhausting. Every morning brought new articles, new accusations, new defenses needed. She found herself spending more time managing perception than doing actual work. "I miss the early days," she admitted to Golden, "when it was just us and a vision, before it became this massive thing everyone has opinions about." "We can scale back," Golden offered. "Consolidate rather than expand. Focus on doing a few things excellently rather than many things adequately." "Is that giving up?" Monica asked. "No, it's being strategic about impact. Your grandmother built slowly, carefully, ensuring quality at every step. Maybe we've been growing too fast, trying to help everyone immediately instead of building sustainable systems." They made the decision together. No new centers for 2 years. Instead, they'd focus on strengthening existing locations, improving services, training leadership, building infrastructure, supporting long-term growth. It was countercultural in a business environment, rewarding constant expansion, but it felt right. The other major decision was more personal. Simone appeared at the Foundation's headquarters one morning, looking diminished and desperate in shocking ways. The woman who'd once been elegant and cruel now looked worn down by time and consequence. "I need to talk to you," she said when Monica's assistant tried to turn her away. "Please, 5 minutes." Against better judgment, Monica agreed. They met in her office, and for a long moment neither spoke. "I've been in therapy," Simone finally said, "working through why I did what I did. And my therapist said I needed to make amends." She paused, struggling. "I destroyed you. I took your life apart systematically because I was jealous and convinced myself I deserved it more. There's no excuse. I'm sorry. Monica studied the woman who'd once been her best friend, looking for insincerity. All she saw was exhaustion and genuine remorse. Why now? She asked. Why does your apology matter now, years later? It probably doesn't, Simone admitted. Not to you. But it matters to me, to knowing I acknowledged what I did and didn't hide from it. You don't owe me forgiveness. You don't owe me anything. I just needed to say I'm sorry, and that I see now what I took from you. You didn't take anything, Monica said, surprising herself with truth. You revealed who you were, and you freed me from relationships holding me back. You did me a favor, even though you meant it as harm. Simone flinched. I'm broke, Monica. Alone, working a job I hate, living in a studio, watching your success from a distance, and knowing I could have been part of it if I hadn't been so cruel and stupid. I'm not asking for help. I'm just telling you that karma is real. I could help you, Monica heard herself say. The foundation has job training programs, career counseling. If you genuinely want to rebuild— No, Simone interrupted. Thank you, but no. Accepting help from you would be unbearable. I just wanted to apologize and tell you that you were right to become powerful enough that people like me can't hurt you anymore. After Simone left, Monica sat in her office for a long time, processing. Part of her felt satisfaction at Simone's obvious suffering, but mostly she just felt sad, for time wasted, for pain they'd both endured, for how completely their lives had diverged. That night, she told Golden about the meeting. I offered to help her, and I meant it. Does that make me weak? It makes you strong, Golden corrected. Revenge is wanting her to suffer. Strength is being able to help despite what she did. You've transcended her completely. That's the real victory. As their third anniversary approached, Monica and Golden took stock, 8 centers operating successfully, hundreds of women helped, a business partnership generating profit and purpose, a marriage that had survived scrutiny and stress. I want us to have a family, Monica said one morning over coffee. Not just the daughters you already have, but our own children. I want to build something beyond business. I want to create life together. Golden's face transformed with joy. I've been hoping you'd want that. I wasn't sure, given everything you'd been through. They are now, Monica assured him. I want daughters who grow up seeing what's possible. I want to create the kind of family my grandmother never got to have, one based on love and mutual respect. But pregnancy proved difficult. 2 miscarriages in the first year, devastating losses, bringing back painful memories. Maybe this isn't meant to be, she said after the second loss, curled in Golden's arms, crying in ways she hadn't cried in years. Or maybe it's just difficult, Golden said gently. Difficulty doesn't mean impossibility. We can try again or explore other options, adoption, surrogacy, fostering. Or we can choose to be satisfied with the family we already have. Whatever you need, I'm with you. They decided to try once more with medical support and realistic expectations. And finally, miraculously, it took. The pregnancy was carefully monitored, nerve-wracking, full of worry and hope. When the ultrasound revealed twins, both girls, Monica cried with joy and terror. I don't know how to do this. How to be a mother, how to raise daughters. We'll figure it out together, Golden assured her. The same way we figured everything else, with love, patience, and refusal to let fear stop us. The twins were born healthy, beautiful, perfect. Monica held them and felt her heart expand in ways she hadn't known were possible. These were her daughters, her legacy, the future she'd built not despite devastation, but because of it. As she looked at Golden holding one baby while she held the other, surrounded by chosen family in the hospital room, Monica thought about the journey from motel room to mansion, from erased to essential, from broken to rebuilt. Her grandmother had been right about everything. The devastation had been necessary. The suffering had shaped her. The inheritance was more than money. It was transformation, permission to become powerful. And now, holding her daughters, Monica understood the final piece. This was why she'd survived. Not just to build empires or help others or prove her worth. She'd survived to create this, a family built on real love, real partnership, real joy. Everything else had been preparation for this moment, and it was worth every painful step. Chapter 10. The Final Triumph. The Harrington estate gardens exploded with late spring blooms, and Monica walked through them with her daughters toddling beside her, small hands gripping hers with determined independence. They were almost 3 now, these miraculous girls who taught her that love could be simple and uncomplicated. "Mama, look!" Her daughter Evangeline, named for the grandmother she'd never meet, pointed at a butterfly landing on roses planted generations ago. "Beautiful," Monica agreed, scooping her up. "Just like you." Her other daughter, Celeste, tugged at her dress. "Daddy coming?" "Soon. He's finishing a meeting, then he'll be here for lunch." This was her life now, mornings with her daughters. Afternoons split between foundation and business, evenings with Golden planning their future. The chaos of earlier years had mellowed into something sustainable, something that felt like genuine happiness. The foundation had grown, but carefully. 12 centers now, strategically located, exceptionally run. They'd turned down expansion opportunities that didn't align with mission, focused on depth rather than breadth. The Harrington Corporation remained profitable, its properties maintaining the reputation Evangeline had established. Monica had become someone she barely recognized from those motel room days, powerful without being cruel, successful without being ruthless, happy without being naive. She'd learned to hold space for complexity, to acknowledge that people could hurt her without that hurt defining her. Her mother lived in the care facility still, her health stabilized, her bitterness gradually softening. They talked occasionally now, careful conversations acknowledging the past without dwelling in it. Her mother would never be who Monica had needed, but she'd become someone Monica could tolerate and occasionally feel affection for. Her sister had become a genuine friend, their relationship rebuilt on adult choices rather than childhood obligation. They had coffee regularly, traded parenting advice, celebrated victories without competition. Richard and Simone had faded into complete irrelevance. Monica heard occasionally that they'd split years ago, both struggling with consequences of choices. She felt neither satisfaction nor sympathy, just profound indifference. They were strangers now, people she'd once known, but who had nothing to do with her current life. That was the real victory. Not making them suffer, but genuinely not caring whether they suffered or not. They'd become so insignificant to her happiness that their existence barely registered. The Foundation's anniversary gala was approaching, their 10th annual celebration. Monica was preparing a speech about the journey, about lessons learned, about what came next. She wanted to talk about resilience without making it sound simple, about success without making it sound inevitable. In her grandmother's study, Wallace found her working on the speech, surrounded by Evangeline's letters and photographs. "You look just like her," Wallace said softly. "Not just physically, but the way you sit, the way you think through problems. Your grandmother would be so profoundly proud." "I hope so," Monica said. "Some days I still feel like I'm pretending." "That's called being human," Wallace assured her. "But for what it's worth, you're more than qualified. You've built on what Evangeline started and made it better. She created sanctuaries. You created systems. That's evolution." The gala was magnificent, the estate transformed into elegant celebration, guests representing every phase of the Foundation's work. Women helped years ago now, successful in giving back. Donors who'd believed from the beginning. Partners who'd collaborated on expanded services. Golden stood with Monica greeting guests, their daughters playing nearby under their nanny's supervision. They'd become known as a power couple people admired, genuine partnership. Mutual support, obvious affection. As Monica took the stage, she looked out at the crowd and felt overwhelming gratitude. 10 years ago, she began, I was living in a motel room, convinced my life was over. I'd lost everything, my marriage, my home, my job, my sense of worth. I felt erased, invisible, convinced I'd never matter again. She paused, letting the weight settle. Then my grandmother gave me an impossible gift. Not just money. She gave me tools to rebuild, resources to become powerful, and most importantly, permission to rise. She'd structured her will so I could only inherit after experiencing complete devastation, because she believed only someone who'd been powerless could be trusted to use power responsibly. She talked about discovering her inheritance, learning business from Temperance and wisdom from Wallace, transforming her former home into the Foundation's headquarters. I thought revenge would feel satisfying, she admitted. I thought watching people who hurt me suffer would heal something. But I learned revenge is empty. What actually heals is building something meaningful, helping others, becoming someone whose life matters not because of what was taken, but because of what they created. She talked about meeting Golden, about learning to trust again, about the risk of loving after betrayal. My husband taught me something crucial. Surviving betrayal doesn't mean never trusting again. It means trusting more carefully, choosing partners tested and emerged stronger. Love isn't naive optimism. Love is eyes wide open choice to build something despite knowing it could hurt. She talked about her daughters, about wanting them to grow up seeing what was possible when women supported each other. The Harrington Foundation exists because my grandmother understood something fundamental. Women don't need saving. They need resources. They need community. They need examples of others who've survived and thrived. They need to know devastation isn't the end of the story, just a difficult chapter. She detailed the Foundation's growth, the center's opening, the thousands of women helped, systemic changes advocated for. We've accomplished more than I imagined, Monica said. But there's more to do, because women are still being dismissed, still being told they're worthless, still struggling to rebuild. As long as that's true, this work matters. She concluded with the message she most wanted to convey. If you're in that motel room right now, literally or metaphorically, wondering if you'll ever matter again, hear this: you will rise. Maybe not the way I did, maybe not with inherited wealth, but you will rise because you're stronger than people who dismissed you. Because devastation is transformative, not final. Because the world needs what only you can build from your particular ashes. The applause was sustained and genuine. Women cried openly. Donors pledged additional support. And Monica felt, perhaps for the first time, that she'd earned everything, not just inherited it, but earned it through choices and growth and refusal to let pain make her cruel. After the gala, Monica stood on the estate's balcony watching stars emerge. Golden found her there, slipping his arms around her waist. That was powerful, he said quietly. You told the truth without making yourself a victim or a hero. Just human. That's all I am, Monica replied. Just someone who survived and decided to build something from it. It's everything special, Golden corrected. Most people who survive just survive. You've created something that will outlast you. That's legacy. They stood in comfortable silence that came from years of partnership. Their daughters slept inside. Their businesses thrived, their foundation expanded, their marriage was solid. This was success, not absence of problems, but presence of meaning. Do you ever think about them? Golden asked. Your ex-husband, your former friend? Rarely, Monica admitted. Sometimes when I'm giving speeches, but they feel like characters in a story I once lived, rather than people who actually affected me. Perfect sense. They're irrelevant. You've transcended them so completely they've become just plot devices in your larger narrative. Later, checking on their daughters before bed, Monica watched Evangeline and Celeste sleep peacefully, completely secure in their safety and their parents' love. They'd grow up with advantages Monica never had, but also with understanding of how fragile security could be. In bed that night, Golden pulled Monica close. Are you happy? Genuinely happy, Monica considered seriously. She thought about the motel room, about the woman she'd been then, broken, hopeless. She thought about her grandmother's impossible gift and the transformation it enabled. She thought about Temperance and Wallace becoming family. about her sister rebuilding their relationship, about her mother's late apology that had mattered but hadn't changed anything fundamental. She thought about Golden, this remarkable man who'd chosen to love her with full knowledge of her damage and her strength. She thought about her daughters, about the foundation, about women whose lives had changed because of choices she'd made. "Yes," she said finally, "I'm happy. Not perfectly, not without complications, but genuinely happy. I survived devastation and built something beautiful. I found love that's real. I have daughters who'll grow up knowing women can be powerful without apologizing. This is what winning looks like." "It is," Golden agreed. "And I'm proud to be winning alongside you." Monica fell asleep in her husband's arms, in her grandmother's mansion, surrounded by security and love and purpose. She'd traveled an impossible distance from that motel room. She'd become Monica Evangeline Harrington Clifton, businesswoman, philanthropist, mother, wife, survivor who'd chosen to transform rather than stay destroyed. She'd proven devastation wasn't the end, just a chapter that made the rest possible. Her ex-husband was irrelevant. Her former best friend was forgotten. Her mother had apologized too late to change their relationship. The people who'd dismissed her had been proven catastrophically wrong. But none of that mattered as much as this. She'd become someone who built rather than destroyed, who helped rather than hurt, who loved carefully but genuinely. She'd created family by choice, empire with purpose, legacy that would outlast her. She'd risen, not despite the fall, but because of it. The devastation had been the forge, and what emerged was stronger, wiser, more beautiful than what had been broken. Her grandmother had been right about everything. Women like them, women who'd been broken and dismissed, didn't just survive, they thrived. They built, they rose, and nothing could ever pull them down again.